Hey kids, for this video, let's call it July 2nd, Thursday. To be completely transparent, it's actually already July 3rd, Friday, and we're about to have a poker night. I didn't manage to finish recording this yesterday. I started, but the day got away from me. It's been an unusually busy and packed week. But today, or technically yesterday, I want to talk about something these videos have unexpectedly started doing to me. In the very first video, I said that these talks were mainly for you. I wanted to leave something behind, not only advice, but also my thoughts, values, lessons, mistakes, and reflections. I wanted you to understand how your father thought about life, what he believed, what he struggled with, what he was trying to become. I expected that making these videos might help me improve as well. But I think I seriously underestimated how much they would affect me. Because I have to hear myself while recording them, and afterward, I often watch them again, sometimes more than once. Maybe it's a little like an artist looking at their own work with a glass of wine. But sometimes, when I watch these videos, it doesn't feel like I'm watching something I created for my children. It feels like I'm watching a version of myself that I'm trying to live up to. When I tell you to be patient, I hear it too. When I tell you to regulate your emotions, I hear it too. When I tell you to be kind, disciplined, courageous, honest, or calm, I'm also speaking to myself. And then, inevitably, life tests me. One of you cries, someone screams, I'm exhausted, work becomes stressful, something doesn't go the way I wanted, and suddenly I remember my own words. Not always immediately, not always perfectly, because, as we discussed, the gator is fast. But I remember them more often than I used to. And that matters, because if I repeatedly tell you to behave in a certain way, but refuse to hold myself to the same standard, then I'm not being completely honest with you. In a way, I would be betraying my own words, and perhaps betraying your trust too. I cannot afford that. These talks are slowly becoming reminders, then standards, and hopefully, eventually, part of my character. That has made me think more deeply about the stories we tell ourselves, because the language we use matters. If I repeatedly say, I'm just an impatient person, then I give myself permission to remain impatient. I turn impatience into part of my identity. But if I say, I'm working on becoming more patient, then I give myself a direction. The first sentence closes the door, the second leaves it open. If I say, I always fail at this, I begin defining myself through failure. But if I say, I haven't mastered this yet, I leave room for growth. Same situation, different words, different possible futures. And this isn't only about philosophical ideas. It applies to everyday life. When you're trying to learn something difficult, don't say, I'm stupid. Say, this is difficult and I'm still learning. When you make a mistake, don't say, I ruin everything. Say, I made a mistake. I need to take responsibility, learn from it, and try again. When life becomes hard, instead of immediately asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this situation asking of me? What can I do now? What can I learn? That small change in language can make an enormous difference, because the questions you ask influence the answers your mind searches for. If you ask, why am I such a failure? Your mind will begin collecting evidence that you are one. But if you ask, what can I do differently next time? Your mind begins searching for solutions. This way, you are directing your attention toward growth rather than punishment. Kids, I really want you to understand this. You will speak to yourselves more than anyone else ever will. You will live with your own inner voice every day of your lives. So make sure that voice is honest. but not cruel. Strong, but not harsh. Demanding, but not hateful. Kind, but not weak. You don't need to flatter yourselves. You don't need to pretend you're perfect, and you certainly shouldn't avoid responsibility. But there is no reason to become your own enemy. You need yourselves more than you need almost anyone else. Life will already give you enough challenges. Don't create another one by constantly attacking yourselves from within. And that inner voice can be subtle. Sometimes you may not even realize how harshly you're speaking to yourselves. You may say things internally that you would never say to someone you love. That is why learning to manage your inner critic is such an important part of self-compassion. We'll talk much more about self-compassion in the future, but self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses for yourselves. It means treating yourselves with the same honesty, patience, and humanity that you would offer someone else who was sincerely trying. And the words you say about other people shape you too, not only the words you say about yourselves. If you constantly complain, you slowly become a complainer. If you constantly judge people, you become judgmental. If you constantly gossip, gossip becomes part of your character. But the opposite is also true. If you repeatedly express gratitude, you become more grateful. If you practice patience, you become more patient. If you speak fairly about others, you become fairer. If you try to understand people rather than immediately condemning them, you become more understanding. Remember, words don't simply disappear after they leave your mouth. They leave something behind, sometimes in another person, sometimes in the atmosphere of the room, but always in you. You hear what you say, your mind processes it, and through repetition, your words begin becoming part of your identity. So before speaking, whether to yourselves or to others, it's worth asking, is this aligned with my values? Is this the kind of person I want to become? Because every sentence is a small vote for your future character. And that may be one of the biggest lessons these videos are teaching me. At this point, neither of you has watched them. Actually, almost nobody has. But even before they begin helping you, they're already helping me. And perhaps they're helping me more than they'll ever help you. Although, if they make me a better father, husband, and person, then I suppose they're already helping you too. I thought I was creating something for you to watch one day, but in the process, I'm also creating something for myself to live by today. I'm creating a mirror, and sometimes I like what I see in that mirror, sometimes I don't. But either way, the mirror helps, because we can't step outside ourselves and see our behavior as clearly as we see other people. These videos give me that opportunity. They remind me that being a father isn't only about teaching your children. It's also about allowing your children to inspire you to become worthy of the lessons you're trying to teach. So kids, please remember this. Be careful with your words, especially the quiet ones, the ones you say when nobody else is listening, because you are listening. Your mind is listening. Your heart is listening. And in a way, your future is listening too. Word by word, thought by thought, sentence by sentence, you are building the person you will become. So speak to yourselves with honesty. Hold yourselves accountable, but also give yourselves patience, dignity, and compassion. And do not ever forget, I love you both very, very much.